What were we going about?
Nazis built the pyramids, the aliens started the Holocaust. It's just...
We're talking about serial killers today. They're ghosts.
It's only going to get worse from here. Stop. Just relax. It's okay. We're good. You want to drink the rest of your vodka real quick? No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to be goofy here, trying to get in the mood, and
well, we're on the wrong subject then.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and just jump into this. Welcome everybody to the Calling Couple. I am your host Gage, along with my lovely host Sage. Oh yeah, Sage.
Oh yeah, Sage.
Oh. So.
Right when I do it.
Oh man. Well,
why does it sound right when you do it though?
Because I'm just like, hey.
Oh, so sexy.
God, if I was a ghost, I swear to God.
Boo, bitch.
Yeah, I would. I would straight up just be like,
I can't believe I have to haunt this fucking pig's dying. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but I would be one of those ghosts that would like be, hey, going into like your room and
I'm just gonna scooch in right here.
Yeah.
Hi, we've been trying to contact you extended warranty.
Yeah, I would be doing some shit like that, or I'd just be like, while people are having sex, just be like, peg him.
Put your finger up her butt.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. Put your finger up his butt.
You know what? And then it would probably backfire because then they just be
don't
like,
say backfire and butthole in the same sentence.
Well, I did. All right. So if you haven't figured out, we're going to be talking about paranormal, man.
I thought you were going to say buttholes.
We're going to be talking about your brown eye and
oh Lord.
Yeah.
No, not the brown eye. The third eye.
Oh, the third eye. Oh, okay. We could. Okay.
It goes with paranormal. Fuck.
Paranormal fuck.
No.
Damn. All right. We're going into spectrophilia.
Hey, that's paranormal, isn't it?
Spectrophilia.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah, it's really called spectrophilia. Where people have sex with ghosts.
You tell me how that's possible.
I heard this. Oh my God, this fucking interview of this woman who actually like I was like raped by a ghost, but oh my God, it was the most tantric sex I ever fucking had, and
That's
I'm just like,
called a sex dream, honey.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a sex dream where you literally came in the dream?
Yeah, those are called wet dreams.
Oh my God.
Those aren't paranormal. Those are
sorry. I was just
those are astrophysical.
I was getting off subject.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna be talking about ghosts today, and keep in mind we are not paranormal experts. We dabble in this shit. So if you want expert stuff, well, just grab yourself a camcorder and a recording device and break into someone's house and see if you capture something. But we are
break in people's houses and capture things.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna say this: if people listen and take my advice so seriously that they're like, go out and do it, and then they try to blame me, I'm gonna look at the cop and just be like, look at me. Do I look like the type of person that you should be taking advice from?
Oh, advice. I thought you were gonna say like, does that look like a person you should be taken to jail?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, but the thing is, I wouldn't last in jail. I would not last. Like I look like a big burly dude, but when
baby boy.
Yeah, because if I go into jail,
you got a soft mouth,
and I'm gonna have to fucking put it to work so I don't get raped.
God,
that way I don't get raped. I can just sit there and be like, okay, if I blow you for the next 6 months, can you protect me without penetrating my asshole? So. You know, that's why.
I know you're joking. I know you're joking.
I know, but
I'm like, could you? Could you do it?
Like
I was like, could you blow a man?
Hey, George Carlin said it in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. Sure, I'll take a shot in the mouth if it gets me a couple 100 miles down the road.
Dude, okay. I don't know. It's like I want to say something, but at the same time, I'm just like, do I want to put that on the podcast? Do I want people to know that? And then it's not like they don't. But I'm over here just like, I can't even take a shot in the mouth. I'm trying to imagine you being able to do it.
Oh, I'm not saying there will be extra shit coming with it, but I have a horrible gag reflex.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't even do it.
Yeah, no.
I can't imagine you doing it.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I eat a spaghetti and I'm just like, oh shit.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get back to ghosts. We got way off subject. The people are like, I am learning a lot about this dude and I know him. Like, what the fuck?
They're learning something new about you all the time. They're like, damn.
What? Fuck off.
I mean,
fuck
damn,
off
no
with that bullshit. Like, I'm an ally, but I am not fighting on the battle line with you. All right, so where do we want to start out with ghosts? How are we wanting to do this today? Okay, we'll start out here. Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in paranormal? Do you believe in apparitions and manifestations and things, poltergeists and stuff like that? Do you believe in that shit?
Poultry.
Yeah.
I believe in chickens.
Oh, yeah. Well, right now with the price of eggs.
Hail chickens. With the price of eggs, hail chickens.
Oh, man.
I didn't stutter. Oh, God. I did something.
Put it down.
I'm trying to fix my mistake.
You're not going to be able to now.
Oh.
Okay. All right. You believe in the paranormal?
Of course, yes.
But why do you believe in the paranormal?
Because I believe in energy.
You believe in energy.
Because simplification of it to pertain with ghosts is scientifically energy cannot be created or destroyed. So when someone dies, where does all the energy in their body go? Well, it's still there. It just has been pushed out of the body because of decomposition. So there's energy floating in that area where they died. Like, what makes you sentient is the energy, the electric synapses in your brain. So that energy that was in your brain is still there, floating above your body. Like, it doesn't just immediately disperse. I think it takes months, years for energy to disperse after something has passed. And that's why we have hauntings and stuff. It's because there is a conscious energy there at the time. And eventually it does disperse.
Okay, so
or if it is strong enough, if there is a good collective amount of energy, it can become genuinely sentient and keep itself together without a physical form. And that's why we have ghosts. Because watching ghost shows and stuff, they will tell you there is a difference between a haunting in a house and a genuine sentience. Because, like, rattling, walking up and down stairs, just like weird ghost sounds people have in their homes and all that. That's right. The energy of the person who did live there still there. The energy is just going about its normal routine, but without sentience. It doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know it's a ghost. It's just going about its business. It's about its routine until it has dispersed enough in its area. But if there is, don't truly know what the difference is or why in some cases the energy can collect itself. I think it's a very higher frequency of awareness. Like, I'm aware of my energy in my body. You're aware of the energy in your body. There are many people who aren't, like just going about their lives like sheep. But people like us, we're aware of the energy, we're aware of the pattern and all that kind of stuff, and I feel like we're pretty deep. Like, not that we're not a part of society and we're doing shit with our lives that everybody else is, but like we're aware of the energy, and so I feel like if we died, we would be able to keep our energy together, sentient and aware. I think we would be an aware haunting. Okay, so you're saying like some people the people that die that become ghosts, you have the ones that will sit there and they become the ones that are apparitions that really don't feel like they know what they're doing. But you're saying that we're more of like, we're conscious enough of it now while we're alive that we're going to be those type of people that if somebody moved into our house right now after we died, we would be fucking stacking chairs, throwing shit at them, trying to tell them to get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Or possibly raping them while they're asleep because what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to call the ghost police on us? Ghostbusters? Yeah. Well, Dan Aykroyd better fucking show up because I'm going to rape him too. I'm just saying. He'll like it. Yeah, he will. He's been waiting for the day. He'll be like, you know what? You just concluded everything I've ever believed in, because he's a huge paranormal fucking fiend. He's got spectrophilia for sure.
But yeah, like he's all about paranormal, aliens, all that kind of stuff. Like he runs his own podcast about that shit, and he had shows about it and all that kind of stuff. He's really into it. So I would love to spectrophilia him.
You just want to feel him.
Yeah, I just want to fill him up. Like, come here.
Yeah.
Come here. Well, I want to see that.
Let me touch you.
I'm going to treat you like the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Come here. I'm going to just rub my hands all over you.
I'm going to melt on you.
So you're saying that that's the way that you're reviewing it, is that if you're sentient, you become more of, you can become more aware of causing paranormal activity or poltergeist activity compared to the ones that people use here on EVPs and just floating around that you just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yes,
and
people, I think, sentient things that are aware of the energy in their life, in their living times, are able to manipulate it even more so when they are just the energy itself. Right now, we are held back by our physical forms. But you know, like as a witch, I say we are able to.
Wait, you're a witch?
You know I am.
Is this why I wake up with voodoo dolls underneath my pillow?
They're called satches. I don't put voodoo dolls there. The voodoo dolls go on the shelf.
Oh dear God, this makes a lot of sense.
I always wondered. Don't look at the one that looks like you. If you look at its eyes, things happen.
I've always been curious where all these bones were coming up in my boots. Oh man. Oh, okay.
You didn't take them out, did you?
I stirred my coffee with them.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh.
Counterclockwise or clockwise?
Side to side.
Oh fuck.
You know, and that's something that I fucking hate about people that are like believers into the paranormal and shit, is the ones that are just like, it's a demon.
Oh yeah.
Everything's a fucking the TV shows now, the shit on YouTube, and all the video sharing apps, and
it's always a demon.
Always a fucking demon. And it's like, it's not always a fucking demon. It's not everything is a goddamn demon. Like, I fucking enjoyed the shit out of fucking Ghost Adventures. Like, we watched it for the longest goddamn time. But then after a while, like, we could tell once one of the actors, or not actors, but one of the investigators had left the show, it went downhill to where every location they went to they did satanic worshiping here, and there's demons.
I'm pretty sure that's why they left, is because it was starting to get...
Because they sold out.
Yeah, it was starting to get very sold out.
But I hate those paranormal shows that when you're watching it and they're just like, do you hear that? And they got some fucking music playing in the back, and it's just like, how do you turn
the music off? I can't hear fucking shit.
Or they'll be like, we caught an EVP and this is what it is, and then they'll fucking put the fucking the
subtitles,
text, the text at the bottom, and it's like, this is what we hear. Like, so
no, play the audio over and over and over and over, like, and then like maybe at the end of the episode, tell us what you heard. You know, like let the audience feel like what they heard.
Yeah, because
normally it never is relevant to what they were talking about.
Or they'll sit there and
it's always demon. It's always Satan. It's always something like that. And it's like, it's not. They said you're barefooted.
But then you also,
where's your fucking shoes?
But then you also have it to where it's like,
your shoes up in my house.
Let it play over and over, and they'll be like, tell us what you guys hear. Well, how can we tell you what we heard when you've already put that idea into our mind that's all we're fucking hearing? So, like, give it to us afterwards. Like, oh, it does. It drives me up the wall when you
like
see
all
that
of
shit.
those little things that they post about, and it's 2 different words.
Yeah.
And they say, you hear what you're reading.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, and they play, like, what do you hear? And then they have the word at the bottom of the screen. It's like, that's what you're gonna fucking hear.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically setting it up to fail of like, is the dress blue or is it gold?
Yeah,
it's
pretty
like,
much.
well, how the fuck do I know? Because you're giving me 2 colors to fucking go off of. Like,
I can't remember what that audio thing was. Just like you hear which word you're reading. I think it was something like Green Lightning and Bumblebee or some weird shit like that. I can't remember what it was.
So, yeah, I remember those that you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember what the words were though. Something about thunder.
But no, I do. I get so tired of that, and all these fucking demon movies that are coming out. It's like,
I like demon movies. I just don't
do
like
too,
that everything's a fucking demon.
Yeah, everything's a fucking demon, and I fucking hate it. Like, I loved the first Conjuring movie. I fucking loved it because it wasn't a demon. It was a fucking angry ass spirit that used to be a witch when she was alive, cursing the house with all the other spirits of the victims that she had killed over the years to make them fucking help her do shit. Loved it. That was a great concept. Yeah. Then we had the second one where it came into where you had Valak the demon. Yeah. And it was just like, come on, this is so stupid. Like then you had when they were doing the Ingvild haunting, which people can look that up. It's actually a really interesting, conflicting story if it was true or not.
I was about to be like, what was that really good one where it's about investigators and they go to this house and like they're investigating his house and it used to be a witch's house and they go underneath the house and they find jars and all that kind of stuff and we're like, oh my god, it was a real witch's house. And I was just like, that wasn't a movie, that was actually a really good investigating show. I was like, in my head, I'm just like, it was so good, it had to have been a movie. But it wasn't. It was that badass investigating show that we like. The first time we ever heard it was at Indian's house.
Oh God, I can't remember.
Remember that one? Episode where they went to that house and they found the jars underneath the house? And all because
the main guy was actually a singer that got into the paranormal more and just started.
It was this really, really, really good investigation. It was so good. Like, it had me on the edge of the chair. Like, I mean, it wasn't like scary. It was an investigation. It's just, I dig documentaries.
But they did it so well and tastefully of making sure that they were trying to get actual evidence and not views.
Yeah, and that's what made that good. And they did nothing that would affect the people living in the house. And if they thought something was happening, they made sure that the family was very aware and were like, they finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they would come back in and make sure that
the other shows we always watch, they always like investigate it, rile it up, make it mad, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then fucking leave.
And that's something that I fucking hate.
And then the people living in the house are the ones that have to deal with the backlash of messing with the paranormal.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the resolution.
Yeah, okay, so something that our listeners don't know is that we have actually been called to go and do cleansings for companies and households and all that kind of stuff.
Because of privacy reasons, we won't disclose who or where, or do we even want to disclose the results of those things?
We can disclose the results, but we're not going to give out names or any of that kind of stuff because that's their privacy, and we are respectful of that.
All of the results?
Well,
even the one we found out about a couple years after the event.
Yeah, we're not going to go into too much depth, but we have been called, and the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because we have been called out to go and do cleansings and stuff because we do believe in the paranormal, but we also believe in more spiritual and stuff like that to help do that stuff to help out with people that are having some experiences with the paranormal that they don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not professionals at it by no means.
By no means.
But we do know
more than the average person.
Yeah, we do know enough to sit here and be able to help out.
Yeah, we know enough to help. We're not professionals, but we know enough to help. But we do obviously know our limits.
Yes, we do know.
If it's something way above our expertise, then we're gonna tell them, sorry, you can't. Like if someone says, somebody in my family is possessed, can you exorcise them? No,
because
I can't do that.
We're not exorcists. We're not any of that. But we can handle with. We deal with a lot more of the mundane stuff that most people get scared of and all that. Like, so a lot of times it's nothing, but we go in to help make them feel more safe and more comfortable being in their house and stuff like that, which is fine. But we've actually had a couple of them where there were some shit there, and we had to fucking really do a good heavy cleansing of trying to get that shit out. And the end result is because we always do checkups, we always reach back out to make sure that everything is going good, and if we need to come back, and we will. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the problem, is like some people that were just like, oh, well, you guys are con artists. We don't get paid for any of that.
We never ask
everything
for money.
That we spend on doing those cleansings come out of our fucking pocket. We don't ask for money, we don't take money, we don't do any of that. We are there to literally fucking help you. And so we did one for a company. That one was my favorite. That one was a lot more fun because when we went out there, we had all like the boss and his wife.
We don't mean fun as in it was a jolly old good time. No, I mean like we felt like we accomplished something.
Yes, and that's
what we mean by fun.
And so we go out there, and it was funny because I'm going around, I'm saging the property while you're going around doing your blessings and stuff like that on the individuals and some of the other stuff. and we were doing all of our things that we're supposed to be doing, and I could hear a lot of the other workers that don't believe in this shit just like, oh my god, we have come to this point, like we're fucking yeah, we're doing this point. And that.
You've tried everything else. This is the point you're at.
But this company was about to go under. It was on the verge of going completely bankrupt and shutting its doors, losing what do they have, like 32 people working for this company.
And they were down to 16 or something like that.
Yeah, like they were losing a lot of employees because they just weren't flourishing. The owner had reached out to us saying, look, I don't really believe in this stuff, but I've got to say that there's something here and I don't know what's going on, because we were thriving in our old location, but we moved to this one and all of a sudden everything that can go wrong is going wrong, and it's getting worse every day. So we go out there and we do our deal. We even gave them a small ritual that they could do for themselves. You ended up making that the stuff that they needed.
It was like a burn sachet.
Yeah.
It was full of everything they needed to, and they had to do like
and that's where I was telling them, like, get all your guys together, have a good time, keep the morale up.
Keep morale up.
It doesn't matter if you
do a good fire, bust out some music, do a little cookout maybe, where your energy is high and everyone's in good spirits.
Yep.
And then when everyone's like at the peak of happiness, throw this in the fire. And
it'll look like a great spectacle for them, but you know what you're doing, and this, what the reasoning for that is.
Because this happy, good energy that everyone has at that moment will put into the spell.
And it did, like, because we got they actually reached back out to us. What was it, like 6 months later?
Yeah, I reached out 2 weeks later, and they said they were doing good. They said there was already financial change happening, and then 6 months later they reached out to us. Like, we're not gonna try to understand what you've done, but our business is amazing. We're building more buildings on our place. We just bought 5 new trucks.
Yeah.
Business is just booming right now. And every time we pass, there's just a little bit more going on.
Yeah. And we see this company every day.
Yeah, we pass by it all the time. And it's always got new signs out and help wanted and all that kind of stuff. So because, when we went there, they were having to lay people off because they just didn't have any business. But now they're just reaching out, trying to hire people. There's a new building on the property, a big building on the property now, and I see all their trucks parked out there. I'm just like, man, they're just doing so good. They barely had anything out there when we were there.
Yeah, and that's one that, like I said, we don't take any money. We don't ask for anything. Like, you call us, we are there to help. We'll do the best that we can, and if, like you said, if it's out of our element, we're gonna tell you, okay, yes, you have something here, but we can't do anything about it. You might want to try to get a hold of somebody that has this area of expertise, but as for us, we can't do anything for it. We don't have that skill set to do it. Or if we honestly feel like there's nothing there, I'm straight up going to tell you, no, there's just nothing here.
We've had those calls too. We've had a few of those where, like, people are just like, I think my house is haunted. Can you come over and check it? And we'd go there, and we're just like,
it's just a house.
It's just a house?
Yeah, just a house. And some people are just like, well, so you guys are going to be like Ed and Lorraine Warren. Honestly, not everything they did we agree with.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff that we're just like,
As the years go on, there's more stuff coming to the light about what they've done in their past and all that. And you'd almost have to say that while they did do real things, and she was an empath, and I believe that.
Yeah.
They did, after a while, sell out.
I think so too, just because,
like, when they were on the talk shows all the time, like, you had to stay near the end. They were kind of doing it for the fame.
Yeah, because if they have more, which they have more and more investigations over the years, but we're only hearing about the main ones like Amityville and the Ingville and the fucking the murder trial. That, like, the 3 big movies talked about the Conjuring films. They talked about those big cases. But
if you go back, I don't know if you've heard this before, Gage, but if you go back to some of their ones that aren't in the light, not famous ones, which they should be because of the scandals that went on in them. But Ed and Lorraine, they're on a few of their investigations. Ed would sleep with one of, like, the teenage daughters.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is real. Yeah.
Whoa, I do not agree with that whatsoever.
No, of course not. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, no, I wouldn't agree with that either. I was talking about, like, he had girlfriends, adult ones, and all that kind of stuff. But in interviews and stuff, when they'd be caught together, and people in the media would be like, what are you doing? Like, that's not your wife, blah, blah, blah. Lorraine knew about this.
So they were poly.
I think they might have been open because Lorraine never got caught with anybody.
Right.
I think they were just open. I think Lorraine just knew that Ed was sleeping around. I think they just had some kind of agreement.
I don't know. I mean, they could have had the old school values of like, we don't ever get divorced, all this and that. But
maybe.
I mean, and honestly, I don't try to judge anybody on that aspect because that's what you do in your personal life, your personal business. I it's always kind of felt like, and if you look at the interviews with the real Ed and Lorraine comes off very, I guess the best way you could say it is she comes off asexual, like non-relationship-y. Like, not non-monogamous.
No, non-monogamy is where, like, you have multiple partners. Right. I think she wanted no partners.
Yeah, that could be.
Zero romance.
I mean, we won't know because we don't have access to any of that stuff to confirm or deny. But, yeah, I mean, and that's where...
Yeah, and of course, they would never confirm or deny that shit.
Well, they're both dead, so they really can't. I mean, unless we try to conjure them. But...
You know, they've set up things where people can't do that. Actually, you would think they would set things up to where they could definitely be conjured to prove that they were correct.
Yeah, but we'll never know. So, I mean, like I said, I can see where people are just like, yeah, they're con artists and stuff like that. And especially with hearing some stuff that people that they helped are coming out with.
The underage shit is not verified. I mean, I don't think so anyways. I know that there's cases against him for it.
There could be.
But, you know, he didn't die in jail, so obviously he won those cases.
But, so, where I was going with that is, like, we're not them. I mean, we do try to discredit before we even say yes to things, like when we get calls and stuff. Like, we'll go and talk to households. But we are not, we're like them, but we are not going to go into somebody's house and be like, automatically, yeah, you're haunted. That you got Demons. Something here.
Demons.
And because when you do something of that nature, you've got to understand that even if they never had something, you going about it, doing that kind of stuff can bring something in. Yeah. And that's where it makes it dangerous. That's why when I see people want to play with Ouija boards and shit like that, your house may not be haunted, but you are opening up something for it to show up.
That's one of the biggest ones that peeve me the fuck off. I think my house might be haunted. Let's get a Ouija board and find out. Oh. Well, it's definitely fucking haunted now, bitch.
So, okay, that's where I was at. So what I was saying a second ago, because we had to pause for a second because we had a phone call that we had to take. What I was saying was that when we go to investigations and stuff of people that say that they are haunted and stuff, my biggest thing is that, like, I don't just immediately try to go through people's houses. Like, I actually want to sit down. I want to hear what they have to say of what their experiences are, what's happening. And
in the place that is.
In the place or the people that they're around and all that kind of stuff.
No, I mean, like...
Yeah, at the location.
I want them to tell me it in the location of where they experienced it.
Yes, I want them to tell me that stuff because a lot of times... I'm looking at their mannerisms. I'm looking at the way that they're talking, the way that their voice changes. I look at all that stuff to see if I can actually determine, are you being genuine with me or are you lying to me to waste my time? And now I'm not saying that.
So you think the experience is mostly the person?
Sometimes some of the places that we've been to, it is the person that is doing that kind of stuff of just like, well, I think it's this and I think it's that. And I'm just like, okay, how were you experiencing this? Where was it? What was taking place? How long has this been going on? What do you think is the reason that this all started? Like, was it because you moved into this house? Stuff like that. Like, I'm going to ask you a bunch of different questions. I'm going to watch all your little mannerisms. I'm going to see how you tell me your experiences and stuff. And if I honestly feel that you are being genuine with me, then we may proceed. But at the same time, I've walked into places where I'm just like, this, like the weight on my shoulders just hit. That's where I'm like, no, we got something here.
That is where I was going to interrupt you. With you being an empath, I think you should do it the other way around.
Well, I don't want to, because here's why I don't do it that way, is because I don't want to walk around people's property just yet. like without having a first or an introduction interview with them.
People say that can sway what you're feeling.
And they can say
that's why like mediums and all that kind of stuff, they're like, don't tell them anything of the story, let them feel it themselves and see if they can guess.
Yeah, but I'm not a medium.
I know, but it's like it should. I feel like it should be similar. Like I feel like if you go into the situation knowing everything, then you're already pre-warmed up to what they're feeling. Like it has an influence. Knowing that has an influence. It's like going to a movie theaters, but walking through a dark alley first.
Oh, okay. So, well, here's a process that I do with that. Like a lot of times, you'll be doing cleansings and stuff on the individual while I'm walking around the property after I feel that we need to.
Yeah.
And when I do, I don't just walk around and look for shit. I walk into a room, I shut my eyes, and I just take into what I see, what my visual picture of the room is at that moment when I close my eyes, and just kind of feel, just really just focus on parts of the room to where I feel like I need to be. Like you could tell me some shit like, oh well, I've had this thrown at me in this room. I could walk right in there and not feel a damn thing, but if I move to the next room or the other end of the house, I might feel it there, because those kind of things don't just stay in one fucking area. Like, they may have more activity in that area, but they don't just stay there.
You feel anything in here?
In here? I used to. Not anymore. Because I used to come in here and, Jesus Christ, I'd have a weight on my shoulder of, like, I don't want to be in here. But now I don't really care. Which, they're not going to understand.
You want to know
Why?
why? Because after you said that, I didn't like that you felt that way.
Well, and that was also because I was holding your fucking box.
Well, it was before we even got the box.
Mm.
We came back here to get the box. And then it made you uncomfortable. Like, you walked in, and you're like, I'm really uncomfortable. And then I handed you the box, and then you're like, oh my god, yeah, this is it. And then we left the box in the other room, and you came back here again, and you're like, it's still really heavy in here. Like, I cleaned this in here since then.
Oh.
I cleaned it out. I'm just like, well, I don't want him uncomfortable. So,
alright, let's not get too sidetracked, because I want to try to stay.
I want to change it off a little bit.
But I do try to do, like, if they tell me something, I try to take it in perspective, but I try not to fucking focus on that as my main objective of like, oh, well, you tell me you were pushed here, so I'm going to go see if I can be pushed. I'm going to go try to antagonize. I'm going to try to do... No. The biggest mistake that you can do, like what you talked about earlier, was investigators will go in and antagonize and then leave, and then the people are stuck with it. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I'm just like, yeah, I'm right there with you, because that is bullshit. They don't do follow-ups. They don't do returns and all that kind of stuff. They don't do any post-help. They don't try to get any kind of help for the families and stuff like that. So they're just kind of stuck with it. When we do investigations, I don't try to antagonize shit.
Oh, no. You want to be really respectful.
I want to be respectful, but at the same time, I want to see if my presence being in there is going to upset, and without provocation.
Sometimes it does, though, because they're very confused of why you're there.
Yeah. Well, and like you saying earlier, they are energy, so they also feel energy. They can. Yeah, they will know
that's what
if.
I mean by wondering why you're here, like, because sometimes it's not like it can flow in and out of sentience, out of awareness. Like, sometimes the energy can perceive you back when you perceive it, and sometimes it won't. A person, like if it's in a house and that person has lived there for a while, eventually the energies will coincide with each other. And eventually the energy, the ghost won't perceive the living being anymore. Like, and there won't really be a lot of interaction because you've become a norm thing for it.
Right.
So when someone like us walks into a home like that, we're new. We're a new energy in this house. And because we're very aware energy, it can perceive us well. We're a bright, as you could call it.
Right.
We're a beacon. And so they're like, what the fuck is this glowing thing here? Like, what? Like, this should not be here. And then it can upset.
Yeah, because we went on an investigation, more of a, not an investigation, but more of a cleansing. We knew that this family was having issues with something in their house, and which we knew what it was. And it wasn't a fucking demon. Yeah. It was just something that they had something attached to them, and it was becoming more and more malevolent. And
it didn't mean to be attached.
Right. It didn't mean to, so it was stuck there. Didn't like what was going on, so it was trying to do whatever it could.
It was the living people forcing the attachment. So.
Yeah, and that's something that was the problem too. Is they were forcing that energy to stay there, but while I was doing the cleansing around the house,
yes,
and you were doing the cleansings and blessings on them, you also were trying to follow behind me in one of the rooms that I had already just went into.
And you had really upset the energy in that room.
I did, and
I got the backlash.
Yeah, what happened?
It was like a hissing sound and then an ankle rub.
Yeah, something grabbed you. Mm-hmm. So I had to come back in there, and I had to really bring in some more.
And I don't mean like hissing as an animal. It was probably just a sound.
Yeah.
And that's just how I perceived the sound.
Right. But I had to come back in there and do a more thorough, because a lot of times, yeah, you could do a cleansing by just going around corner to corner of the room and all that. But sometimes you got to really get into a depth of it, and you've also got to
hit real hard.
You've got to bring in some other stuff.
That's what I was doing. That's why I was upset, because you stirred it up, and then I heard it.
Yeah.
Because I was throwing the stuff on the ground for her to sweep up later.
Yeah. But and so that's where we're not saying that we are true believers of what people tell us, because we have our own experiences, we have our own stories of what we've dealt with, we have our own fucking ghosts in our own house.
We believe in a lot of spiritual stuff.
Yes.
But we're also very big skeptics.
Yes, very big skeptics. Like, not everything that we see on the internet we are going to totally believe.
No, we love watching YouTube ghost videos and all that. And we also love debunking them too.
Oh, yeah. No.
And like, you can explain almost everything away.
Damn near.
Yeah, damn near.
Damn near. I mean, there's been some that I'm just like,
some. There has been plenty that were like, yeah, that's what it was. Oh, like, we'll guess, because, they always say it's a demon. But there are some. Like, the ones that get me the most, that crack me the fuck up. I'm an animal lover. I fucking love animals.
Yeah.
But the times where it's an animal could fucking kill me.
Oh, yeah. They're just like, was that a skinwalker?
Yeah. Or the screaming woman.
Yeah.
That one gets me. The screaming woman in the woods. Dude, fucking midsummer, it's a fucking mountain lion or a bobcat.
Yeah, it could be.
And then if it's early spring, it's a fucking bullfrog.
Yeah. It could be a raccoon. It could be...
like, lots of animals make a sound that sounds like a screaming woman.
Yeah, and it does. It does. It cracks me the fuck up, though, watching that shit. I mean, it's one of those, like... I get that they're like, we'll let you decide what you think it is. But 9 times out of 10, when people that are recording this stuff, they're just like, oh my God, is that the Blair Witch? Is that the Bigfoot? Is that a skinwalker? Is like, what's going on? And they're like, oh my God. It's like, come on, guys. Take a second. Think rationally.
Think about where you're at, where you're living, like your location and the time of year. It's like, you're gonna figure out what it is. Really, there's rational things for everything. One of my favorite videos is the hand in the attic. How like there's this hand on a piece of wood, and then you don't see it, and there's not a body, and all of a sudden the hand pulls away, and like the guy's freaking out. It's a fucking raccoon paw, dude.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
tell. You can see the little nails. It's a fucking raccoon paw. Like, it's a little child's hand. It's a little bitty child. It's a fucking raccoon paw. Like, have you never seen a raccoon? Have you seen a raccoon's paw?
Or
it's very, like, it's dexterous. It's got fingies.
Or it could be a possum.
Or a possum. They have little nubby fingers.
Yeah, that could be pretty fucking intimidating whenever you see them, especially in a dark room and
the nighttime cams.
Yeah, the night vision
cams. These possums are fucking terrifying.
Oh God, yeah, they are.
It was like, fucking skinwalker. It's a fucking possum, dude.
But I mean, and that's what we're saying is, like, we do believe in the supernatural. We do believe in paranormal stuff, but we don't.
But not everything is supernatural.
Yeah, we're not. We also question shit. We question to make sure that it is worth the mindset of, yeah, that's paranormal.
You want to know the scariest ghost videos I ever watched, though? The scariest ones that get me to my bones. The ones where they're like going into abandoned buildings and stuff, and like the ghost is following them around, and it's a freaking homeless person.
Oh yeah, no,
those fucking scare the shit out of me, dude. I'm like, Because I'm like, that's a person. That's scarier to me.
Yeah.
I would rather it be a fucking ghost. They're like, it's a ghost. Everywhere I go, it's right there. It's like, no, dude, fucking get out of there. That's a person. That is a person coming after you.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, and that's where, like, I have no problem with anybody that wants to go and do paranormal.
Be careful. My God.
Yeah, if you want to do paranormal investigations, by all means, get permission to go onto those properties.
But just remember.
But also be fucking safe, because
Dude,
you have no
please.
idea. These guys a lot of these homeless people that are living in those abandoned places are either very territorial or they are mentally unstable, that they may look at you as a threat, and you might get seriously injured on this. So be very cautious. We actually are all for you wanting to do your own paranormal investigations, but be fucking safe. And if you're gonna go do that stuff, please try to find some ways to keep yourself energy protected of going into investigate something that could be harmful, malevolent, or malicious. You want to make sure that you have some kind of self-protection from anything being attached to you to take back home, especially if you have kids and stuff like that. Be very cautious of that too. You have to be very, very, very careful on any of that kind of stuff that you want to do, because you never know what you are dabbling with. You never know what you're about to walk yourself into. So be cautious on that.
Yeah, there's some things you don't want to bring home.
No, and we've had some of that. We've brought some shit back, and it was a pain in the ass getting rid of them.
Yeah. I don't even release them back out, man. I stick them in a box.
Yeah, we basically have to fucking trap them to fucking...
Yeah, because, like, I don't... Like, if I let them... Like, if I just abandon them from my house, I mean, where are they going to go? You know, I don't want them to get after anybody else.
Like I was saying, we actually have our own ghosts in this house. We've had ghosts here forever, plus new ones have come in, stuff like that. And we deal with this stuff all the time. It's not like every fucking day.
Yeah, like, it's not all the time, but like
But we know
it's
they're there.
Normal enough. It's normal enough for us.
Yeah, I mean they haven't done anything malevolent or malicious to us or anything like that for us to really be like, we had one that we really were like, okay, no, we needed to get
that one we brought home.
Yeah, after doing a cleansing and stuff, it actually attached to us, and we brought it back home. And we have kids, so once we realized that we had brought it home, we had to fucking do something about it.
We have one that's very sensitive to things and sees more things than we do, and so we worry for that one sometimes.
Yeah, but after we did a very heavy cleansing of our home, we ended up getting rid of it, and it's been, well, actually, we didn't get rid of it. You ended up trapping it. And,
yeah, that's the one I was too scared to release. I didn't, because I worried about it just going back.
Yeah, going back to the house that we just went to, or going back right into ours.
Yeah, coming back into our home, going back to the house we took it from, even though that family's not there anymore. I worried about it going back there and messing with the new family that's there, because it's going to be mad that that's not its original family. No,
and you also went and buried it in a location that really
I don't even remember where, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, like you sealed it, and you went and took it and buried it somewhere to where it won't be found, and if it is, it's going to be a fucking decades before it ever is. Yeah. So it's
hopefully by then the energy had dispersed enough.
Yeah, we try to take every precaution we can when we go do shit like that. Like, especially when we get done, we do cleansings on ourselves before we even get into the car to come home and all that kind of stuff, because you never know. I
even have my vehicle protected because I don't want to get in it and then,
Right. Like,
that's why when I walk into a home that I'm about to do a cleansing in, I make that door barrier. That way, if anybody comes in or comes out through the door in the middle of a process, it kind of like is a squeegee for them. It wipes it clean.
But it also entraps whatever's in there to be dealt with at the same time.
Yes, like it can come in, but it can't get back out.
Right. Now
that way, when we physically walk out of the house, it squeegees it off of us.
Now, and I know people are sitting here just like, you guys are some fucking nut jobs. You guys are fucking crackpots and all that. And you know what? Yeah, I am. You know what? I've dealt with so much shit since I was a kid growing up to where I am now for the last fucking at least 28 years. You can kiss my ass. I do believe in them. Yep. I do believe in the paranormal.
And I know I've helped enough people that, like, I believe in it because I know I've helped people.
Yeah.
I've made people's lives better.
Yeah, and that's the whole point is If we can walk away knowing that we help somebody, that's what we want. We want to make sure that we are doing what we say we are going to do. And if we can't, we will try to help get you into the right direction to where you can look to get the help that you need.
Mm-hmm. You got any good ghost stories that's happened to you?
Ooh, let's see. I've got several, but I'm going to give you one. I'm just going to give you one.
This one?
Yeah, well, I'll just give you one. That way you can kind of understand some of the stuff that I've had.
Okay.
Now, this one is a long one, but I'm going to shorten it up to one experience that I really had, because it has been one that it started out when I was a kid till back when me and you were just married, after a couple of years of just being married and all that shit. Like, not even a couple of years before before we got married. Right before we got married, it kind of stopped. But the night we were living in the studio apartment, and I mean, it was the small apartment. This place was not big at all.
It was a room.
Yeah, it was an open floor room with a wall that cut off the kitchen and a wall that cut off the shower that was in the back.
Yeah, there was no doors.
But the refrigerator was out in the living room. Our bed was behind the couch in the living room. Like, it was.
Yeah, there was no bedroom. There was no living room. It was just a room.
Yeah, it was just an open floor plan.
Yeah, with the refrigerator at the foot of the bed.
Yeah, with the fridge at the foot of the bed. Now, so something that happened that night was that my brother came over to visit us for the first time in a long time. Like, I hadn't seen him at least within.
This is not the story I thought you were gonna go with.
I haven't seen him at least within a year at this point. And he comes over, and we're hanging out for a while, and then he leaves. And then me and you go lay down in bed. I slept against the wall on the bed, which the fridge is at the end of the bed where I would sleep, and you slept on the outside. And I remember laying there. We literally just laid down, and I'm not even about to fully drift off into sleep, and I feel this immense pressure hit my chest where I felt myself sink into the bed.
This.
Yeah,
I remember what woke me up?
Yeah, the feeling of
the pressure of you going down into the bed.
And so I'm sitting there and I feel this, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to move. I'm trying to push myself back up to sit up, and I can't. I'm trying to move my arms. I can't move my fucking arms. I'm sitting here literally trying to fight. The only thing I can move is my feet and my head. I can move my head, but I can't speak. I can't lift my body up. I can't do anything. And I'm kicking my feet. Finally, you're just like, you roll over, and I'm sitting there trying to scream at you. My mouth is wide open. My eyes are big as shit. I'm fucking scared at this point. And you're like, what? What the fuck are you doing? And I'm sitting there just terrified, staring at you.
And so finally, as soon as I roll all the way over to you, is when you just bolt straight up.
Yeah, but I'm kicking so fucking hard.
Like,
I am kicking this bed so hard that when she finally looks at me and whatever had a hold of me lets go, I'm kicking so hard I threw myself up and into the fridge. Like, I hit the fucking fridge.
Yeah, it looked weird. It looked like something, like almost like you had sprung up. Like, it had pushed you so far down into the bed that you were kicking your legs so hard that when it let go,
yeah, like I springboarded right into the fucking fridge.
You sprung up. It was just like physically impossible looking. I was like, what the fuck?
Now, and that's because at this time I hadn't even started doing any of the investigating stuff to like I had like dabbled with stuff, but I hadn't actually gotten
into the show.
No, not shows. Like I hadn't gotten knowledgeable enough to go do cleansings and stuff and really start getting into it more. After that night I did. After that night I started doing my own investigation of the property and trying to figure out, like, did anybody die here? Like, finding out that it was just a hair salon back in the day.
It was just a fucking hair salon. We're like, no wonder there's no bedrooms or anything. It's a fucking hair salon.
Yeah, so after that, we ended up moving out of there. I think it was like 2 months later we moved out. We moved in with my brother, who was right down the road in his own little place that he moved into. And that is when we realized it was attached to him. Whatever it was attached to him, because that night that I had my experience, he was there and he left. So we moved in with him, and he had the master bedroom. We had the middle bedroom in the hallway, and we had our old friend Frank that would stay with us off and on. He was a full-blown alcoholic, so a lot of times he would just pass out drunk and be in a deep fucking sleep. And he would sleep on the couch in the living room. And I remember we all were just going to bed. Brother had just went to lay down in his bed. He'd been in there for maybe 45 minutes. Me and you looked over at Frank. He was passed out. I threw a blanket on him, and we went and just laid down.
Yeah.
We're probably laying down for like 15, 20 minutes at this moment.
I thought we had decently fallen asleep. Cause
No, you had fallen asleep.
Oh, yeah.
I was on the verge of passing out. As we are falling asleep, all of a sudden he starts screaming, "Get off, get off, get off, get off, help, help, help." And we're like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And at first I'm sitting there just like, is he having a night terror or like what the fuck? Yeah, but then it started turning into a panic, a real genuine panic. And I'm, like I said, he's my brother. I know him. I know when he's actually scared. I didn't start worrying about him until he started getting panicked. But at this point, he's screaming so loudly that Frank, who is dead, passed out, blacked out, drunk, heard the screams and woke up.
Yeah, he running down the hallway.
Like I'm jumping up and I'm running towards his bedroom, and Frank bumps into me and knocks me out the fucking way to get to the door. And I'm looking at Frank. I'm like, dude, open the fucking door. He's like, I can't. It's locked.
I can't. It's locked. He's just like, there is no fucking lock.
And I'm like, move. And I fucking grab a hold of the door. The door is fucking locked.
Yeah.
But within like a few minutes of us trying to fucking wake him up, banging on the door, trying to get it open, the door just fucking...
It just freaking lays open.
Yeah, it literally...
It opens itself.
No, it didn't open itself. Like, it just just let whatever was holding it back let go because the door just twisted open.
Yeah,
we opened it.
He didn't come unlock the door. He was still in the bed.
Yeah, he did not move. He was sitting up on the bed, just breathing heavy and just like not even acknowledging that we're there, just kind of figuring out what the fuck had happened. And we ended up finding out after that because we had talked for a little while that night, but he was like, I really want to forget it. I want to go to bed. And then a few weeks later, we had a party. And this is where he meets his wife that he's with now. But we had this... Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we had this party. We had a lot of family and friends over and all this and that. We're having a big old fucking shindig. And somehow we got on the topic. Oh, we were talking about that night. And I started telling him about like what happened to me at the fucking condo house. Yeah. And he was just like, man, I've had this shit since I was 17. Because remember, he's 11 years older than me. So I was about 7, 8 when he started doing this shit. He was telling me, he's like, yeah, when I was 17, I was over at some friend's house and we decided to play with the Ouija board. And I was like, you decided to do what? He goes, yeah. We started playing with the Ouija board. We were having fun. It was a good time. And I thought my friends were the ones moving the pendulum and shit. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? He goes, but I realized later on, as I was getting older and learning more about Ouija boards, he goes, my biggest mistake was we never closed the door. We never said goodbye. We never let that thing go. We never ended up ending that session. And he goes, ever since then, I've always had something follow me. I'd always see something out of the corner of my eye or something of that nature.
It follows.
It's basically, but except it's not a succubus STD. It's
not spectrophilia.
Yeah. But he was telling me that kind of stuff and I was like, hold the fuck up. You're the reason why I have this fucking shit? Your stupid ass fucking teenage bullshit self fucking gave me that fucking horrific fucking night? I'm fucking moving out. I'm done with this shit. Like, fucking, what the fuck? I've talked to him since then about that whole ordeal and he's like, honestly, I haven't had a whole lot go on. I haven't really noticed anything, so I don't know. And now that I have the knowledge of what I have, I'm like, dude, you really need to let me just come over, do a cleansing, kind of help you out. And he's on the fence with it, but he's just like, if I leave it alone, I'll leave it alone. I'm like, that's not always the best advice. That is really not the best advice to live by. If I leave it alone, it'll go away. Because it really won't. It doesn't ever go away. It's just there waiting and biding its time to come back.
It's going to jump up and get you.
Yeah. It's gonna be waiting underneath your bed. So when you're going to lay down with your bare feet.
We don't have a bed frame. So nothing's under our bed, bitches.
That and because we're poor because we spend some money on this podcast. We spend money on the new microphones, the new crisp, clear sounds that you're hearing.
His
we're gonna fix yours, but we're getting there.
His microphone.
Hey, no, we're gonna fix yours. We ended up ordering this, and one of the cables was bad, so we're gonna get that fixed. We at least have a nice new setup so you can hear this better. But that is one of the biggest reasons why we don't have a fucking bed frame is because, for one, every bed frame we ever had, we fucking break that shit.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say we don't have a bed frame because we were tired of breaking all of them.
Oh my god, we've gone through 4 bed frames since we've been together, and after 6 years of getting 4 different bed frames, we're like, fuck it,
fuck this. This is a waste of fucking money.
It really was, because there's just none that really can handle
what we like to do.
Oh yeah, the ghosts in this house are just sitting there.
They've seen some shit.
They're just sitting there jerking off in the corner of like, God damn, I wish I had that in 1832. All we had was hay.
You've done that too.
yeah, you know. But no, I mean, so like I said, I've always had those experiences, so that's why I believed in this shit since I was a kid, and why I do that. And
with my expertise, surprisingly, I didn't always believe in shit like this.
Which is so crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It really is. With the way you are, I figured you would have been believing in this a lot longer, or as long as I have.
No, this shit was all Hollywood to me a long time ago. It was awesome. I loved it. I liked the aesthetic of it when I was a kid. It wasn't till genuinely probably when I was dating you that it became like, this shit's real.
Yeah, honestly, looking back to it, like, I would watch my paranormal shows and stuff, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, they're entertaining.
Yeah, they were entertaining.
But then that night happened, and I was trying to explain to you.
I'll tell you the night that it became real, like physically in my world, not just the show, the shows, the investigation shows.
Right.
The dress. The night before Crow's funeral.
Oh my fucking God.
That was the night it became real to me.
Dude, I forgot about that shit.
Yep, that was the night. That was the day. That was the night that I was just like, okay, ghosts are real.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that one.
That was my first in-person true ghost experience.
Yeah, because that was like right after he died. Like we were getting ready for his funeral the next day.
Yeah,
and we stayed the night at his house. We were
staying the night, and then the funeral was going to be the next day. And
yeah, and what's so funny is everybody in that house had an experience that night. Yeah. It wasn't just us. It there was at least 9 people in this house that night.
Yeah.
Staying to like either his brother and his mom that were there, and a couple of us others that were getting ready for the funeral, because we were all very tight knit. Like they are my other family and shit, and we all stayed together. And when that fucking incident happened, man, I totally fucking forgot about that one, because you're looking at me just like, you seeing this shit? And I'm just like, huh. Okay. Yeah.
Like, you see the dress floating against the wall, right?
Yeah.
You see that too, right?
Yep. But yeah, I fucking forgot about that. So that I could see where that became the real one for you, because that was pretty fucking extreme that night.
As soon as freaking Drake came into the living room, fell to the ground.
Yeah, and he's like, "Why is this dress on the floor?"
He's like, "Why is the dress on the ground?"
It's like, dude,
we're like, it was floating against the wall.
Oh man, yeah, that was a fucking crazy night, man. I totally forgot about that one. Wow, we've dealt with so much over the last fucking 13 years that
one has always stuck in my mind.
Oh man, I fucking forgot about that one. Wow, yeah, thank you.
Always stuck in my mind. Yeah. And then it was either the girlfriend's dress or his baby mama's dress. It was one of those. One of his girl's dresses. Right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
When we told her the next day, she said, "That's funny, because before I picked it out, I said he would have fucking hated this dress."
Oh yeah, no, that was his girlfriend at the time.
Okay. Yeah, because she was like, "That's so funny that he threw that," because I said, like, when I picked it out and all that kind of stuff, I said he would have hated this dress. And sure fucking no, we were like, yeah, well, yeah, you said, well, he does.
Yeah, I was just like, mm-hmm.
He does. He fucking hates it. He threw it on the ground.
Yeah, man, that was a rough fucking funeral too. It really was.
That was
That was just a rough few weeks. It really was. Man, so do you have anything that you would like to add onto ghosts? Because I mean, we're gonna come back to this subject later on, because I want to talk about how ghosts in the Bible. Oh man, that
Yeah, like I don't know how Christians can say there aren't ghosts if they're like
the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and
all up in that Bible, all up in the culture. Like, you don't believe in ghosts? Jesus believed in ghosts. Why don't you?
Yeah. Jesus came back as a ghost. We will get into that the next one though, because this has been a fun topic, and we've actually got to tell some of the listeners of what we kind of do. Like, we are busy fucking people.
Our other ghost stories, or if you want to hear about some of our cleansing stories.
Yeah.
Because we didn't ever really tell them the outcome of that. Some of them.
Well, we like I said, we don't want to go into too much depth of that, because not all of them are the greatest, and there have been some that have.
Well, that's kind of what I mean, though. Like, not every experience is going to be just awe-inspiring.
Right, like it wasn't our fault on any of that stuff. Like, so like with the company, we had we will give you this. Yeah, we'll go ahead and give them that. You got to be careful of what you're doing. Now,
you need to be a little more specific about what you want as an outcome.
Yes.
Because the energy will go the course it feels is the easiest course, if you so to say. The course that, like, is going to get the job done and not really care what the outcome is. It's like, you wanted it done, this is how I'm getting it done. Even in the easiest way. And sometimes that's a violent way.
Yeah, because there was an employee there that had they even the owners and stuff were telling us about, like, yeah, he's been with us for the longest time, but he has been very different in the last few years. He's changed. He's not really the same person that we knew. So, and
I really wish they had told us that before we did what we did, because we would have went to that person first.
Yeah, and that was something that they disclosed to us after
the events.
After what had happened. Mm-hmm. We did the cleansing. We gave them this cleansing ritual for them to do on their own. And then how long was it afterwards?
Remember when, like, we did the checkup 2 weeks later?
Yeah.
That was when they had gotten disgruntled and disappeared. Not disappeared, but, like, stopped coming into work. So
right.
Eventually, quit. They were the most vocal about being mad that we were there that day.
I do remember him, because he was even giving me shit for trying to distract me from what I was doing.
Yeah. He wouldn't let it go. And then after 2 weeks, kind of what the boss said, like, if you can't deal with it, then, just don't show up. And I guess he couldn't, and he didn't. The 6 months later, they called us and said business has been great and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until I had run into the person in person that they had said we'd had problems with a disgruntled employee. Turns out they were kind of stealing from us a little bit, and that's why business got a little better after that 2 weeks. And then some other things happened, and then business was good. And they kind of stopped talking to us for a while, and it wasn't until 2 years later, talking to somebody else, that we found out why they stopped talking to us. It was because that person that left the job, that left, the disgruntled employee, died. 6 months after that.
6 months after the time you talked to her in person, or?
Well, I don't.
Or was it the 6 months after we did a checkup? Or when they actually reached out to us?
We did the checkup.
2 weeks, then they reached out to us 6 months later.
So, no, that's what they said. They said it was a younger person. It was a 19-year-old who says, yeah, my friend worked there. And they told us, like, that's how I found out that you do cleansings. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that was one of my most successful ones. They're like, yeah, we heard about it. And I'm like, what? You heard about it? What did you hear? And though, we heard you killed somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what? I didn't kill anybody. What are you talking about? They're like, yeah, you did a cleansing, and then, like, this guy, like, got all, like, butthurt about it, and then the boss was like, if you don't like it, you can quit. And then 2 weeks later, he quit, and then 3 weeks after you guys did that, he died. 3 weeks after you guys did that. And I'm just like, what? Like, this is, No wonder they won't talk to us anymore.
I doubt that. I mean, like, if he did pass away, that we had no fucking clue on it or any of that, and if it had anything to do with us, the company or those individuals would have came to us and would have done something. But
yeah, do you think they would have been like, hey, coincidentally, that guy that had such a problem with you guys being here died, and we're like, it's 2 years after, and I'm just now hearing about this.
Yeah,
that had nothing to do with me.
No,
it's just a coincidence.
It could have been a coincidence, or it could be a rumor mill. We don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not gonna.
I was just so surprised that he's like, the reason I say that it's a rumor about us, me and you, babe, is because he came to me and said, "You guys do those cleansing things?" Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, how'd you hear about it?" And he goes, "I heard you guys killed somebody." So that means people are out there saying that we came in and did some witchery, and fucking guy dies 3 weeks later. Like, that's a fucking coincidence. That had nothing to do with what we did.
And you know what? It is a coincidence, but I'm gonna say this: don't fuck with me right now. I will fucking take you out. I will take you.
We will
down.
cleanse the fuck out of you.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be so cleansed that when God sees you, he's going to be like, damn, I can lick pudding off of your soul.
I can lick pudding off your soul? What the fuck? Where did that come from?
I have given the warning. I don't even have to fucking be there. I don't have to fucking be there. I will take you out. No, honestly, that has to be a fucking rumor, because if it was...
I just thought it was funny. Like, 2 years later, and he's just finding this shit out. And he's coming to me about it, like, oh my, like, I'm like, dude, that was 2 years ago that I did that cleanse.
Although it makes sense of why we get so many side eyes.
Yeah, I mean, like,
but yet
people
we still
be talking about us in town.
But yet we still get phone calls. We still get reach outs of, we need help. We have become those people of, we know the weird people that you can call that will do this for you.
Yes, like, yes, we have that. Well, if it's really an issue, like, I actually do know somebody we can call about that.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to tell you they know somebody, but they do.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of
And I'm good with that, man. I'll be that recluse witch that you call in an emergency. You call me. Call the weirdo out in the woods.
Honestly,
they'll come help you out.
I have no problem being that weird person, that outcast, because
always
it's
been that
so
weird person, and I'm good with it.
It's
if
nice.
Anybody from high school listening to this, I'm still good with it, man. I'm still good with it. I got that same energy. Come at me.
Well, I was just gonna say, I really like the quiet. Like, you don't always have to fucking blow me up. I don't always have to go do things, but that's because people look at us as we're the weird ones, and we're very fucking weird. Okay, so we've are good with cleansings. We believe in the paranormal.
Yeah, we talked about
we killed somebody apparently. So
we killed somebody apparently.
So yeah, don't fuck with us. But if you need help, we will fuck with you. If you want to talk about
witchcraft, I'll tell you about the other person I killed. I'm just joking.
Jesus, whoa!
That was a joke. Oh, you killed nobody. Calm down, everybody.
All right. I'm now in fear of my life.
Scared the shit out of Gage over
there. If I die, it doesn't matter if the documents say it was natural causes or any of that. Make sure that you search this house for any kind of voodoo, witchery, sachets, and all that kind of shit.
Well, don't search the house for voodoo, witchery, and sachets. They're gonna find those. You don't have to search for them. They're fucking everywhere.
They're in this room that we were recording in.
They're not just in this.
Oh God, no!
Don't lift the mattress.
Okay, so honestly, we're gonna end this one because this has been kind of fun. If you guys have a ghost story and you want to tell us, you can leave a comment down below.
If you've had a good experience with spectrophilia.
Oh man, if you have been groped, raped, any of that,
bad one, let me know.
Yeah, if you've had any kind of fucking sexual experience with
I didn't say sexual. It was funnier when I said spectrophilia.
If you've had something sexual with a spirit or a ghost, you let us know in the comments down below, or you can send us an email at thecallingcouplepod pod@gmail.
Email?
Will you please
no.
let me finish it? you can send us an email at thecallingcouplepod, pod@gmail.com. Let us know your stories. Let us hear everything that you got to say on your beliefs, disbeliefs, or any of that shit on ghost spirits and apparitions, paranormal, spectrophilia. I'd love to hear those.
I got a good one for you.
All right.
Legalize spectrophilia.
Yes. I am all for it. Legalize the spectrophilia. Honestly, there is a woman who ended up committing suicide because she was dating a ghost and wanted to be with that person on the other side. No. So I'm not condoning the suicide, but she was so in love with this spirit that she had to be like, you know what, I'm ready to cross the plane. She basically crossed the threshold and they were instantly married. So
love it.
And you know what's really gonna suck is that when she gets on the other side, she's gonna realize that spirit had like 8 other spirits that he was fucking.
Oh yeah.
So
she didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, she didn't.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she's probably sitting there just like deeper, and it's like, how deep do you want me to go? I'm going through you right now.
I'm going through you right now. Oh, ghosts can't do that to other ghosts, can they?
If you're a ghost, please let us know if you can do that. I would love to hear.
Speaking of that, when you were out of the room, I had the headphones on. I was just listening and all that. And I was just like, ooh, I wonder if I can hear ghosts in this white noise.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to just set it up to where this will run and record for like 4 hours and then come back and just sit for 4 fucking hours.
You just listen to it and see if you can
hear and just see if I can hear anything, because this thing is very fucking... This equipment that we purchased is really fucking good. It is very, very intense. Like, Sensitive.
There you go.
Yeah, not intense, because intense, that means it's looking at me like with intent, and stop looking at me like that.
It's got gauge philia.
Oh yeah, it's just like, I'm gonna feel you all right.
I feel it, yeah.
So we're gonna end this, guys. This has been.
You're gonna laugh at that.
I am trying not to, but
I got you.
Yeah, you got me. So we are gonna end this though, guys. Thank you so much for enjoying this episode, and like I said, we're gonna come back to it later on because we've got to talk about other things.
Boobies.
Oh, I love boobies. Even ghost boobies.
I was just joking when I talk about boobies.
Oh, come on. I want to talk about boobies.
Boobies.
All right. So thank you guys so much for being here today. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a like, a subscribe if you want to have some more, because we are going to be talking about more shit. And give us a share so your friends that you know that may be into this could be up for listening. Quit molesting the microphone.
I can't. I hate my fingers. They have to touch things.
All right. So I have been your host, Gage, alongside my beautiful co-host.
You forgot my name already?
Oh my god. Do I have to do it like
I'm your host, Sage, along with my handsome co-host, Gage.
Yeah. All right. So is there anything that you would like to leave our listeners with before we completely close this out?
Caw-caw.
All right, caw-caw. And if you're out there living life, make sure that you are fucking it up, Buttercup, because you only get one. I've said what I said, so some more to be. All right, we will see you guys later. Thank you.
Oh my god, I thought you were about to high five me, but you were grabbing the mouse.